You went through an entire day, and at the end of it, you could not name a single moment that mattered. Nothing went wrong. Nothing hurt. Work, dinner, good night. A perfectly ordinary day, but something is leaking out of you slowly and you cannot find where. And the strangest part is what happens next. You feel guilty because your life looks fine. You have a job, people around you, a roof over your head. So how can you feel this empty when nothing is actually wrong? That guilt is the trap. It is exactly what keeps people stuck in this feeling for years, sometimes decades, because the emptiness is not the real problem. The guilt about the emptiness is what stops you from ever looking at it honestly. What you are about to hear is where that emptiness actually comes from. It has nothing to do with being ungrateful, and what is really happening inside your mind when your life looks fine but feels hollow is something most people never get told. Once you understand the real source, it will change how you see everything. This is not just about feeling a little off. It quietly shapes every decision you make. In the 1950s, a psychologist named Abraham Maslow proposed something that changed how we understand human motivation. He suggested that human needs exist in layers. At the bottom, survival, food, water, shelter, safety. Above that, belonging, love, connection, community. At the top, something he called self-actualization, the need to become who you actually are. Most people know this as the hierarchy of needs, but here is the part almost nobody talks about. Maslow found that meeting the lower needs does not automatically satisfy the higher ones. You can have a full refrigerator, a safe home, a stable job, and people who love you and still feel empty, because the hunger at the top of the pyramid is a completely different kind of hunger. It is not a hunger for things. It is a hunger for meaning. Meaning cannot be bought. It cannot be given to you. It can only be built by living a life that actually reflects who you are on the inside. Let me say that differently because this matters. The emptiness you feel is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It is evidence that something inside you has outgrown the life you're living. Think about what modern life actually asks of you. You go to school for 16 years to get a job someone else designed. You take that job and spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day solving problems that are not yours. You come home exhausted and scroll through a screen showing you the curated lives of other people. You go to sleep. You do it again. Nowhere in that cycle does anyone ask you, what do you actually want? What matters to you? What would you build if you were not afraid? Slowly, without anyone doing anything wrong, you start to feel like a passenger in your own life, present but not participating, functioning but not alive. Psychologists call this existential vacuum. Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived the concentration camps, wrote about it. He said the most dangerous form of suffering is not pain, it is meaninglessness. He watched people survive unimaginable horror and then fall apart in peacetime. Because at least in the camps, there was a reason to keep going. In a comfortable life with no clear purpose, the mind starts to eat itself. That sounds extreme, but the mechanism is exactly what you are experiencing on a smaller scale. When your days are filled with tasks that do not connect to anything you care about, your brain begins to disengage. Not all at once, slowly. First, you stop being excited about things. Then you stop being curious. Then you start going through the motions. Eventually, you reach the point where you look around at a life that should feel good and you feel nothing. And here is what makes it worse. You cannot talk about it. When you tell someone you feel empty and they look at your life and see a house, a job, a family, they do not understand. They say, you should be grateful. They say, other people have it much worse. They are not wrong, but they are answering a question you did not ask. You did not say your life was bad. You said it feels empty. Those are two completely different things. Imagine eating a meal every single day. The same meal. It is nutritious. It keeps you alive. But it has no flavor, no seasoning, no texture. After weeks of eating the same flavorless food, you would start to lose your appetite, not because you are ungrateful for the food, but because something essential is missing from it, something that makes eating feel like more than just survival. That is what a life without meaning tastes like. You are not starving, you are just not nourished. So where does the emptiness actually come from? It is not one thing, but there are 3 patterns that show up over and over again. If you can spot which one is running your life, the emptiness starts to make sense. The first is living by a definition of a good life that was never yours. Somewhere along the way, maybe from your parents, your culture, your religion, your social circle, you absorbed a blueprint. Go to university, get a stable job, get married, buy a house, have children, be productive, be successful, be fine. You followed it, not because it was wrong, but because it was never yours. It was handed to you before you had the language to question it. Now you are standing inside a life that checks every box on a list that someone else wrote, and you are wondering why it feels like a house you do not recognize. The second pattern is emotional suppression. You learned, probably very young, that certain feelings were not welcome. Anger was dangerous, sadness was weakness, fear was something to push through. So you got very good at not feeling. You were rewarded for it. People called you strong, dependable, the one who holds it together. But here is what nobody told you. When you suppress the painful emotions, you suppress all of them. You cannot selectively numb. The same wall that blocks out sadness also blocks out joy. Over time, what you are left with is not strength. It is flatness, a life that is neither terrible nor wonderful, just quiet. That flatness is what people describe as emptiness. It is not the absence of something. It is the presence of a wall you built so long ago that you forgot it was there. The third pattern is the absence of a creative or expressive outlet. Humans are not designed to only consume. We are designed to create, to make things, to express what is inside us, whether through art, through work, through conversation, through building something with our hands. When you spend your entire day responding to the needs of other people, answering emails, meeting deadlines, managing children, keeping the house together, and none of it involves expressing who you are, a part of you goes quiet. Not because it has nothing to say, but because it has stopped believing anyone is listening. That quiet part is not dead, it is dormant. The emptiness you feel is its way of knocking on the door. So what do you do with all of this? I am not going to tell you to quit your job or leave your family or move to a different country. That is not the answer for most people. Anyone who says it is that simple is selling you something. But here is what you can do. It starts smaller than you think. The first thing is to stop judging the emptiness. Stop telling yourself you should be grateful. Stop comparing your pain to someone who has it worse. The emptiness is not a character flaw. It is information. It is the part of you that is honest enough to say, this version of my life no longer fits. It is your mind telling you something here needs to change. Not everything, something. The second thing is to identify which pattern is running your life. Ask yourself honestly, whose definition of a good life am I living? Is it mine? When was the last time I let myself feel something fully? Not just the acceptable emotions, but the raw, uncomfortable ones. When was the last time I made something, anything that was purely mine? You do not need to answer all of those right now, but sitting with them is the beginning. The third thing, and the one that matters most, is to start giving time to the part of you that has gone quiet. Not a lot of time, not a dramatic reinvention, just 10 minutes. 10 minutes where you are not productive, not useful, not responding to anyone. 10 minutes where you sit with yourself and ask, what would I do if no one was watching? What would I build if no one would judge it? What would I say if I knew it would not be used against me? Those questions are not comfortable, but they are the beginning of a life that is actually yours. Here's the truth that nobody tells you when you are busy following the blueprint. A full life and a meaningful life are not the same thing. You can be busy every hour of every day and still feel empty. You can achieve every goal on the list and still feel like something is missing, because fullness is about volume, meaning is about alignment. No amount of volume will ever replace the feeling of living a life that is actually connected to who you are. If you recognized yourself anywhere in this, you are not ungrateful, you are not lazy, you are not broken. You are someone who has been nourishing everyone and everything except the part of you that actually needs to be fed. The emptiness is not a sign that something went wrong. It is a sign that you are ready to stop performing a life and start building one. You deserve more than fine. You deserve a life that feels like yours from the inside. If this video put words to something you have been carrying, leave a comment. Tell me, when did you first realize your life looked right but felt wrong? And if you want more videos like this one about the parts of being human that nobody prepares you for, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.